Hi guys, this is Hero, and today I'm going to be talking to you about a topic that just came to me recently. So I was realizing, why does this Venus retrograde feel a little bit different, okay? Especially the end. And at first, I just kind of put it all on the fact that Mercury's retrograde as well. And I took a little bit dive deeper, especially when I made my Jupiter debilitated in D9 video. And I saw that Venus was debilitated in D9 also, which I didn't think crazy amount about it because it's usually not in the same sign of the D9 for that long. But then I noticed that Venus was going, like, it was starting to move slower and go stationary, and that's what a planet does right at the end of its retrograde, and right as soon as it finishes going retrograde while it's going forward, it slowly speeds up, but it's not going that fast. So I checked out the dates, and I was like, okay, it was in debility like 5 days ago, January 16th, okay, and it's still there. And then I checked the date that it's going, that the retrograde ends, and it's still in Virgo in the D9, right? So I'm like, that whole time it's in Virgo, and then I checked, it's still in Virgo in the D9 all the way until February like 11th, okay? So that's like a whole like almost month, January 16th to February 11th. That Venus is in the same sign in the Navamsha, okay? That's like ridiculous. And it happens to be debilitated and retrograde and like stationary retrogrades and stationary forward, which like adds to the whole thing, right? So I'm like, okay, even though I'm 5 days late, I have to make a video on this because this is just ridiculous, okay? And then I'm like, oh my God, the day that the retrograde ends, the day before and the day after, while it's also stationary, Venus is also debilitated in the D60 chart, right? So literally, like, it's not turning around, like it's going completely like stationary and not kind of changing its energies until it is like in its most purely debilitated state, okay? And on top of that, Mercury is retrograde also, and Mars is like also catching up to it, okay? And it will actually pass it soon, which I'll make another video on that about, because Venus and Mars, the whole time they're both in Capricorn, they're both conjunct, okay? And Mars is obviously very strong because it's exalted there, and Saturn is there as well, and that's a sign lord, okay? But I will touch on that in another video. So what does this mean for the Venus? So I want you to think about something, and it's actually might be a blessing in disguise, the fact that I'm making this 5 days later, okay? Usually I try to make it before just to give you guys a heads up, but now that it's already happened, see how the energies of your Venus has been the past 5-ish days, okay? Since the January 16th US time, okay? So that's when Venus went into Virgo in the D9, okay? So that's gonna continue, and then at about January 28th, so the retrograde ends about January 28th, 29-ish, okay? Check exactly my dates. But the day before it ends retrograde, it's going to go into, so right now it's actually in Multicon in the D60, okay? So this energy that you're feeling these 5 days, it's going to kind of keep picking up until about the 27th or 28th, okay? Venus is going to keep slowing down and Mars is going to keep catching up to it, okay? And then at the like 20th or 27th, whatever, it's going to go into the D60 chart. It's going to be debilitated in there, okay? So there's a slight, if you're able to kind of be aware of it, there's a slight energy like at the D60 level where Venus is in Multicon, okay? So even though, okay, at the surface, it's kind of, okay, Venus is in Sagittarius, so you're forced to kind of think a little bit higher learning when it comes to that kind of stuff. And it's retrograde, slow retrograde, and Mars is catching up. So imagine those energies on the surface. And then the D9 level, it's debilitated and moving very, very slow in there, okay? Now at the D60 level, it was in Multicon, so at the last, so like, you're still kind of, out of all of this, you're still kind of finding all that you can kind of enjoy from this, okay? You have your ups and downs on the surface, whatever, but at the deepest level, you're still finding something that you're appreciating, especially when it comes to the aspects of Libra, okay? Now, the January 27th to 28th, whatever, I'll put the exact date in this video title, US time. It's going to go into debility, okay? And that's right when it's like the most stationary, and when it's completely stationary, and it's like the day it just starts moving forward and it's moving the absolute slowest, Okay, so it's like the slowest possible speed retrograde, completely stationary day where it changes, and the slowest possible forward moving day, okay? It's going to be debilitated there in the D60 as well as the D9, okay? So that means that whatever, and it's moving very slow, okay? So you could feel very, very frustrated. Depends on your charts and everything like that. You could be somehow not included in this category, but you will feel it. There's no way this is a coincidence that it just happens to go from retrograde to stationary when it's debilitated in D9 and D60. Okay, that's a very powerful thing. Okay, people usually hype up when it's like the same sign in the D1 and the D9, but it's also similar energies when it's a D9 or the D60, or it's a D1 and the D60. Okay, and it, like I said, especially because it's extra auspicious because it happens to change from retrograde to forward moving on that day also. Okay, and the day before and the day after, and the planet is very, very powerful when it's stationary. Okay, like the day before and the day after too. Okay, so that's that. So, but it's debilitated here, right? So you could feel, and Mars is getting very, very close also. So you could feel when that D60 day happens that, okay, like whatever kind of, so it was in Multicon before, so you kind of still saw like the positives in it at kind of a Libra level when it comes to Venus, right? You could feel for those 2 days just kind of like, man, like come on, like you could be over analyzing like how to quote unquote fix things in your life, like in that Venus aspect, or you could just feel very frustrated. Yeah, so you could feel like that. Now, what's important here is to, sorry guys, 1 second. So what's important here is to just keep doing your like spiritual practices and stuff like that, and to not get phased by this. Right now, it is easier said than done. So you might be asking yourself like, okay, like why do these bad periods have to happen? Like there's got to be a benefit, and you would be correct in that that kind of thinking. So when these kind of quote unquote bad periods happen, it's not a bad period, but it's like I said, it's very powerful that it's in debilitated in D9 and D60 the exact day it goes from retrograde to stationary, which Venus only goes retrograde every like year and a half. Okay, when this happens, a lot of dirt is gonna get dug up, especially when it comes to areas of Venus, and areas of Venus we are all very attached to, okay? So it is very important at this time. Like I said, the reason why I make a lot of transit videos is because these energies only come like once, okay? So we signed up for this human birth experience, and it's very good, but if we don't utilize it from a spiritual level, it's like what good is it? What good is it, right? Because like if you're just kind of attached to all this material stuff, it's just going to lead to more suffering. It's not going to be fun. You're not going to learn spiritually after this birth ends, okay? So you want to kind of learn from that. And like I said, I'm not going to quote unquote go too much into detail on quote unquote like what's going to happen like I do with other ones, because I'm going to challenge you guys. So I want you to see, okay, the last 5 days, how have I been feeling when Mars is kind of catching up, Venus is slowing down, and it's in Virgo, okay, in the D9. That energy is going to pick up to like I said, around that January 28th time. Then I want you to see if you can identify those energies of Venus in D60 and Libra, okay? And then I want you to see if you can notice that switch, okay? That switch is basically causing from Venus going stationary and Venus going into debility also in D60, okay? And when that happens, I want you to just see, you guys have the advantage because you guys are aware of this, okay? You guys know it's not forever, okay? You're not going to get swayed by your emotions, hopefully. You're going to use your spiritual groundedness, and you're going to use your spiritual groundedness, and you're going to use this to your advantage to take care of all this garbage that's going on in your mind related to Venus, because when it's debilitated, it's a great time to deal with all that stuff. And so when after this transit is over, you're in a much better place and have a much better mindset when it comes to Venus, going forward into your whole life, okay? And then also when Venus goes stationary and it's goes out of debility in D60, so it's in Multicon in D60, but it's still debilitated in D9, you can use that to your advantage because you were already in quote unquote like Venus was in a darker energetic place. now that it's in a little bit of a better one, you're able to better analyze and tackle the negative energies that Venus debilitated in D9 brings. Okay, so that taking you even more over, it's advancing those spiritual lessons and wisdom even more after Venus gets out of debility in D9 and goes into multicone in D9. Okay, and you're gonna need that because when Venus and Mars go conjunct into Capricorn, literally neck and neck the whole time, passing Saturn, you're gonna need, it would be very wise to have all this wisdom with you, okay? Because that is not gonna be easy as well. But just overall in general, even if that transit wasn't happening, this is a great time to basically improve the energies of your Venus. And there's a reason why Ketu Dasha comes before Venus, okay? And the reason why is because you got to go through all those lessons that Ketu throws at you in those 7 years, which is can be very hard, in order to fully appreciate what Venus brings to your life, okay? This is kind of like that in a sense, okay? But it's just not on a Dasha level, it's more on a transit level. You're going through kind of a little intense Venus period throughout these next 3 weeks. Like I said, I would strongly encourage you guys to utilize it and also analyze how those energies are playing out in your life. So when they happen again, you don't have to rely on some external source like an article online or like a video by me or someone else to kind of hold your hand and tell you what's happening in this transit. You'll be able to intuitively know what's happening, okay? So I think that's enough for this video. Like I said, see how you've been feeling the past 5 days and start from that and go forward and try to tap into the energies for the next 3 weeks, and hope you guys enjoyed. Okay, so if you have any questions or comments, let me know. And until next time, guys, thank you. Talk to you guys later.